Hello, hello. Hey, everyone. Welcome. You can take yourselves off mute if you want to say a quick hi. All good. You see
Good,
your
good.
lovely faces. Hey, everybody. Welcome. Just letting everybody in. So, who we got? If it's okay, I'm going to get rid of the note takers, guys, because we should do that. They take up space on my screen. How you doing, everyone? Where's everyone joining from? Good to see some. Oh, Georgie's smiling face. Hey, Georgie, how are you?
Yeah. Hello. It's good to see Lee as well, my cohort.
Yeah. Lee's a regular. He's always here. Oh, there's more people coming in.
You make me
There's one
sound like
more.
I've got nothing better to do, Adrian.
No, I know that you just love me, Lee. So,
I yeah, appreciate you, mate. Thank you. And you, Georgie.
Oh, and that's more testament to Adrian than us not having anything to do, yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
and I love you too, Lee, and you, of course, Georgie, and all of you. Don't want anyone to know. How is everyone? So, who we got? Hi, Veronica. Glad you could join. And Ted and Michael and Jackie. Lisa, how you doing? Lisa Hammett. Haven't seen you for a while. Rachel and Sima and Jose, Tom. Oh, they just swapped places. That confused me. And Chris, how you doing, Chris? And Dee and Hajar and Serena and a bunch more trying to get in. So it'd be great if you can turn cameras on, guys, for no other reason that I just love to see your faces and it makes me feel like I'm actually talking to someone rather than just talking at a screen. But that's up to you, of course. But it would be nice to see your lovely, smiling, beautiful faces. I'll just give it another minute or so for people to join, and we can get going. So, first of all, thank you everybody for showing up. I know that I tried this new pay what you feel format, and I know that's caused a lot of friction for some people. So, whether you paid or not, I haven't looked. I don't care. So even if that caused friction and you didn't want to or weren't able to pay, then I appreciate you taking the effort, making the effort to actually go through that process because I know it's a bit more grueling than it normally is. So just wanted to get that out of the way. Thank you. Okay, I am going to just share my screen quickly, but I want to keep this. I really want to stay away from slides and too much sharing and stuff unless it's actually us going through and working through stuff on LinkedIn, which I'm going to do in this session. Let me just show you what I've got planned. I haven't used Zoom for a while, so let me make sure I'm doing this right. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Yep. Okay, cool. So this is basically what we're going to do. Ignore the timing. I'm going to go through. So I'm obviously going to explain about the new algorithm because I think it's important that you understand this because when you do, then it's going to be much easier to play into the hands of it. A quick section on just like content, what you need to do with your content. Although this workshop isn't about content, I'll do another workshop on content, but I'll just touch on it a little bit in this one. This is where I'm really going to focus, and we're going to actually go through, and I'll show you a tool that has been trained with the new algorithm and can actually give you feedback about your profile through the eyes of the algorithm. And then how you can reposition yourself and at the end, a Q&A session, as always. And what I'll do, I'll actually stop at the end of each section. So I've got some little notes here. And I'll send this document to you after the workshop also, so you have all the links and stuff. And I'll take questions after each of these little sections, and then we can hopefully keep it within the time, at least get all of the teaching and training done before the end. Maybe the Q&A will spill over. I don't know. I hope not. But let's see. Okay. So let me stop sharing first. Right. So who has heard of Brew 360? A few of you. Yeah. Have you looked into it at all, or have you tried to do anything to implement your LinkedIn to sort of play into its hands? No. Oh, did someone say yeah? Oh, Chris. Yeah. So it looks like you're on a treadmill, Chris. That's really cool. I used to have one of those in my office, but I never use it, so I got rid of it. So there's a lot to it. So it's actually probably the biggest change that LinkedIn has ever made to its platform. It's not just an algorithm update. It is complete system redesign. It's a completely new algorithm. And you may have noticed towards the end of last year, some strange things happening on LinkedIn, like reach dropping through the floor. A lot of people's accounts got banned for no apparent reason. I actually helped 3 clients get their accounts back, um, and all sorts of things like that. And actually, the banning account thing is actually a good thing. Not for the people who suffer it, but in general, it's because they're actually actively looking for some of these tools now, like pods, for example, and AI commenting tools, which really it games the news feed, right? And it actually hurts the user experience when people use those tools, because you start seeing the wrong content because people are actually gaming it. So LinkedIn is really clamping down on that now, clamping down on automation and things like that. So um, if you did get your account banned, hopefully you got it back. If you didn't, let me know and I'll help you get it back. But normally you do get it back without a problem. And it is for kind of the right reasons. And as long as you follow the rules and you stick to, the guidelines on LinkedIn, then it shouldn't happen to you again. Okay. So my advice is steer very clear of things like engagement pods and these AI commenting tools and things like that. Anything that's fake, that's going to hack the system. LinkedIn are actively looking to stamp it out, so be careful with it. All right, so it's called 360 Brew, and the reason for that is it takes a kind of a 360 view of all of us now. So the previous algorithm was something called LI track or Lee track or whatever you want to call it. And that was basically like a hodgepodge of different systems and mini algorithms and checks that it would do, on your profile and your content, but nothing was really sort of coordinated. And that's why LinkedIn's always been a bit strange when it comes to, content and stuff like that. So they've thrown all that out, and now the new algorithm looks at you as a complete entity, if you will. It takes like an overarching view, and it's looking at everything. It's not just looking at your content or your profile. It's actually looking at everything together. So it's taking into account your content, your profile, and your network. Okay, and your network is really important, and I'll touch on that a little bit later on. But when all 3 of those things are aligned, then that's when you can really play into the benefits of the new algorithm of Brew 360. Easy for me to say. So, for example, if things aren't aligned, if if you've got executive coach for CEOs in your headline or something like that, but then you start posting about motivation and things that really don't have anything specifically to do with that market, then you could get penalized. In fact, you will get penalized for that, because there's no alignment. It's semantic drift is the term I keep hearing. But basically, you have to your content and your profile has to be aligned. Whatever you say in your profile, it has to be reflected in your content, and that's when LinkedIn can read you as someone of value in that audience, in particular audience, and they reward you by showing your content, more of your content, to more of that audience. Okay, so that's kind of just an overview. I didn't want to go too deep on that. I'm gonna, I've done some research on this, and I've got a research document which I'll share with you if you really want to go deep. If you're a bit of a nerd like me, but I don't want to go too deep on it today. So, are there any questions so far? Does anybody want me to expand on anything? Yes, Georgie.
Does it count how active you are on the DMs to certain profiles?
I don't think it does, but it's definitely looking at who you're connected to. So it's a good idea to be connecting with the right people for sure. When I say I don't think it does, that's actually thinking about it. It's not correct because when you DM someone, that actually makes it more likely that you'll receive their content and they'll receive your content. I don't know if you've ever noticed that. If you've been in a DM with someone, and all of a sudden you start seeing their content on your newsfeed. No, but I imagine it does.
And then how you target within Sales Navigator for your outreach, I imagine that then aligns with who you're targeting and how LinkedIn might reward that. Is there an extra sort of uplift if you're using Sales Navigator to the right profile?
I don't know. Honestly, that's the answer. I don't know that. I don't know if Sales Navigator has been woven into the algorithm or not. What I do know is that if you have Sales Navigator, you obviously can have a lot more conversations. You can view an unlimited number of profiles before you get a problem. You can send a lot more DMs and you get all of the extra functionality. But I don't know if there's any advantage related to the algorithm per se.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Lee, and then Michael.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, is this going to result in people being penalised for not niching down laser focused?
Probably yes.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
In fact,
yeah.
yes. I'm afraid yes.
Never mind. Okay, got it.
Yeah. It loves specificity.
Yeah,
And it's a good idea to niche down anyway.
it is.
But,
Yeah.
but the algorithm now is kind of forcing people to do that. Otherwise, yeah, you're just not going to get as seen as much on it. And it's not just your content, it's who, which search results you're shown in. It's, when you get those recommended people to connect with, it's whether you get put in there or not. So there's a lot of different places where it's going to be beneficial, but it's not the end of the world. If you don't have a niche, you can still go outbound, you can still connect with people and, create conversations that way. It's just more work, but it works.
Brilliant.
So,
All right. Thanks, Adrian.
you're welcome. Michael.
Yeah, thanks, Adrian. Do you think this spells the end of what you might term as being human in your posts and being, showing a different side of you so people get to know a bit about your personality?
And I'm glad you asked that question because it would be easy, and I actually did it at first, and I'm still in the throes of undoing it, to just focus your profile on, being machine readable, right? On pleasing the AI. And yeah, it would have great results. But in reality, at the end of the day, the whole idea of the algorithm, any algorithm on any social media, is to give the best possible user experience. And at the end of the day, human beings are attracted to other human beings and stories, particularly vulnerable stories. And that's why, on any social media, even LinkedIn, which is considered, the professional platform, vulnerable stories pretty much do the best every time in content. And they still do because it's what people want to read. It's what people engage with. When something evokes emotion, that's when people are going to click on it, want to read more, all that good stuff. So no, I don't think it's the end of that. I think this is it's the foothold, if you will, to get in front of the right crowd. But then your content, it does need to educate your audience. You do need to still, and your content should always relate back. But human stories and live experience and just being a human is still a good thing to do.
Exactly. Okay. Good to know. Thank you.
You're welcome. Rachel, and then Seema, and then we'll move on. Where are you, Rachel? You missed. I
I'm
can't hear
here.
you.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, great. Yeah, so a question about what if you have more than one area of focus? It sounds like this Brew 360 will penalize that. For example, I'm a coach and I'm also a patient advocate, so I have two different activities.
I'm afraid it will penalize you for that, yes, because it will be confused. It won't know, which area to focus on. It won't know which audience to put you in front of. So, it won't be the end of the world, but it will definitely make it trickier for you to get results, to get your content and stuff out in front of more people.
Because I would expect my main activity to be the coaching. So let's say 75% of my posts might be related to that, but 25% related to, patient advocacy. And that might be difficult to get in front of the patient advocacy people.
Yeah, and we'll come on to that a little bit in a moment. I'll talk about that. But yeah, if you take that approach, you'll probably be okay. As long as, that's kind of the minimum. If 75% of your content is about your, what you do for your audience and for your clients, then you're going to be okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Sima.
Thanks. Two quick questions. One, current events. Like, I don't usually get a ton of engagement, but I made one post about that horrible tragedy in Cole, Montana that happened on New Year's, and it just blew up. Is there something in the algorithm that knows that, or was it that human element? That's one question. Or just
I think it's just the human element, and you can. It's a good question actually, because posting about current events definitely gets more engagement because it's what people are interested in, right? But it's a bit weird, and the way the algorithm has changed. It used to be that you'd put a post out there, it would have a life of 24 to 48 hours, and then it would fizzle away into nothing. But what we're seeing now is you put a post out there, it does okay, but then 5 days later, it kind of resurfaces, even 2 weeks later, and will be shown again. So when you talk, when people do these, I've seen like Halloween posts, show up 2 weeks after Halloween and things like that. So I think, I don't know this, but from what I'm seeing and what I understand, that current events do well. And I think it is just a human element, Seema. But then the algorithm picks up that something does well and then shows it again later on, and that's why, if you look at your content impressions and your analytics, you'll probably notice now that it's a lot more sort of steady because the posts are generating more engagement over time rather than that 24 or 48 hour window, which in some ways makes it trickier because now it's hard to measure how a post performs, because you used to be able to just look at it 3 days after and look at the stats and you would know, but now it can be 2 weeks or more. I mean, I'm seeing posts from months ago that are still getting views. So
it relates to my other question, which is posts versus articles. Because it used to be if you wanted staying power, you put an article. And now it sounds like you don't necessarily need to make it that complicated.
Well, articles have never done well in the newsfeed. Articles are good for, for authority, right? Because they do stay there. And, but articles don't do well in the newsfeed. They do well in Google searches if it's a really good article and it's, you SEO optimize it with the right title and everything, then they do really well. But in the actual LinkedIn newsfeed, they're not going to do well. Your best bet is to create a newsletter and publish articles as a newsletter, because then you get to notify people about them as well. And I find that my newsletters, if I post an article on its own, it probably gets, a few hundred impressions at most. But if I post a newsletter, it'll get a few thousand more than the post that I do about it actually. So yeah.
Thanks.
Hope that answers your question. All right, I'm going to move on. We can take more questions, but I'm already a bit behind. So let me move on to the next part. So content. So the basic rules of content are never going to change, okay? Your content should always be valuable, of course, and well written. It should always educate, entertain, and or inspire people, like one of those three things always. And you can simplify that further and think about it as if you're, and I'm going to cover this in a different workshop, but if you want to simplify your content, the best way to think about it is put it into three categories: business, expertise or experience, and life. Business is like solving problems for your ICP, introducing a new tool, or giving them something of value that's going to help them solve a problem. Expertise is showing the results of something that you've mastered or done, or testimonials or client results, things like that. And then life is personal experiences and stories that evoke emotion, that are ideally tied back to your business and what you do and your audience. So if you think about content in those terms, it gets pretty easy, and you can just decide what to do each day. But again, I'm not going to go deep on that because that's another workshop. All right, there's still more people coming in. Okay, so I know Rachel, is it Rachel? I think it was Rachel was asking about this, but as long as a minimum of 3 out of 4 of your posts are, focused on solving the problems for your audience and focused on your audience and positioning you as an expert in what you do to your audience, then that's fine. Ideally, 6 out of 7 posts should do that, but as long as it's at least 75% of your posts, it should be good. Okay. So I'm glad that you actually said that you were going to do that. And educational posts in the eyes of the algorithm are the most important. Able to read and identify you as that expert. And that's what LinkedIn is trying to do. It's trying to identify you as an expert to a specific crowd of people. So by creating educational content, that's the way to do it. But don't ever forget the human element. It's just, it is just as, if not more important than getting this side of it right, particularly stories. So always weave a story, or at least your lived experience, into your content if you can. A good way of thinking about this is if you can start, most of your posts with as in I did this thing, or this thing happened to me, or when you talk about it, in terms of your life, then you'll know that you're hitting the nail on the head there, because that's where people are going to be interested. People want to hear stories about people. So when you start telling those stories, it's going to pull those people in. And the other thing to think about is reshares, comments. Likes, they're not really worth that much anymore. Comments are worth a little bit more. Shares, not worth much. What's worth the most? 2 things. The first is people saving your content. Now, it's not easy for people to save your content because they have to go and click the 3 little dots and then find the save. But if your content is good enough, if you're putting out content that is save worthy and people are saving it, that's when you will absolutely, go viral. Not viral in the sense of getting millions of views, but getting that content in front of the right people, going viral within that audience. So you should be aiming for content that does that. And the 2 best ways to do it, and I'm going to put my hands in the air and admit it, I haven't been doing either of them because they're time consuming, are infographics, carousels. Now, infographics take a lot of time or effort or money to produce. You can pay someone else to do them. So I don't do them myself because I just don't have that time. But carousels, actually, there's no excuse for me not doing them because there are so many tools now. And I'm going to introduce this in another workshop that will help you put carousels together in a matter of minutes that are, publishable within minutes, that there's actually no excuse not to do them anymore. So And the great thing about carousels is, you write the content into the carousel itself, so it's not going to take you much more time to produce a carousel post than it would to produce a post of an image and text together, because you're just kind of combining those things. The hook is more important than ever. And the reason for that is the second point that the algorithm is looking for is dwell time. Okay, if you can get people to dwell on your content for more than 7 seconds, then that's ticking a huge box with the algorithm. And remember, LinkedIn is full of lurkers, people who do not post, do not comment, and they do not like because they're scared their boss is going to see them, but they all read. They're reading the stuff on LinkedIn. So when you have a strong hook, in those first 3 lines of any post, it's so important to have a strong hook that pulls people in, and you get them to click the little more link, then they're way more likely to spend those 7 seconds then skimming through your post, reading it, and that's when the algorithm picks up that this piece of content needs to go to more of this type of person because it's valuable. All right. So where are we at for time? So that's all I want to say on content. And it's, like I say, it's from the perspective of the algorithm. And I will do another workshop on content soon, but I really want to get into the live demo because we'll have some fun then, because we can roast some people's profiles and content. But before I do that, and before I ask, actually, let's take the questions first. Are there any questions on that section, on that part? No? Oh, yes. Seema?
What about video? Does that meet those criterias of hook and 7 seconds and saving and all that?
So with video, yes, it does. Well, first of all, don't do portrait video, because they got rid of that feature of the reels, and yeah, it just doesn't work anymore. If you're going to do video, I would do it in landscape, because when you do it in portrait, it's really hard to see the text and the hook that goes with it. Whereas when you do it in landscape, you can clearly see the hook and the text that goes with the post, and that's what is important. And if you do video, you have to post text with the video, because the algorithm isn't able to, the LinkedIn algorithm today, as it is not able to transcribe videos and read videos, but it can read the text. So anyway, you've gone on my screen, but hopefully that answers your question. Seema, where have you gone? Yeah, somewhere. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Kim.
Hi. Thank you very much for the information. And the one thing that I'm linking back to is when you talked about how you navigate through your profile, your content, your connections, and how the algorithm is able to find a cohesion. I'm wondering how that cohesion translates to how you interact with the posts about liking and contacting the individuals that you read their content for and you want to connect with. Does that mess with the alignment?
I'm not sure what you mean by that, Kim. Could you just elaborate a little bit?
Well, what I mean is, if I'm going through LinkedIn and I'm actually trying to connect to people because of a personal connection to their story, or even liking their content, is that going to affect the way the algorithm sees? Because you mentioned how all these elements need to be aligned. But then personally, if I go and say that someone is out of my industry that I like and felt connected to their story, is that going to affect things?
I don't think so. I wouldn't worry about that. So you mean when you comment on someone else's post, if it's nothing to do with your business, would it have an effect on how you're viewed by LinkedIn, right? Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, it's not looking for that. It's primarily the content and the profile, the content you're putting out, original content, and the profile alignment, and then obviously your network, you know, who you're actually connected to, but it's not so concerned with you know, what the comments that you're making and the content that you're interacting with. What will happen is if you interact with a certain type of content, you'll probably see more of that content in your newsfeed, but it's not going to change how you're viewed by the algorithm. If that makes sense.
Okay. Thank you very much for answering.
You're welcome. One more, Lisa.
Hey, Adrian. Quick question about starting posts. Oftentimes I'll ask a question. It's like, have you ever felt this way? Or is this relatable? Or ask questions periodically through, like, especially if I'm doing stories. Is that good or bad? Or do you recommend it, I should say?
I would actually say it's not that good because it kind of, you know, although questions can be a good way to start a post, you know, because our brains are basically question answering machines, but I think it's been overdone and people kind of, I find myself filtering out when I see a question at the beginning of a post, I find myself filtering it out. So, yeah, I don't think that's as effective. And that's just my personal opinion. Lisa, other people may disagree with me, but I think it's more like if you think of the hook as would someone just like how can you get someone to want to read more? How can you make it intriguing? If the question's, you know, a really good question, yeah, it might be, but asking something like, have you ever felt this way? It certainly doesn't hook me,
Yeah.
you know, but yeah, so only using questions, probably not a great strategy, but if it's a great question, it probably is a good thing to do. So it just depends. I know that's not a great answer. I'm sorry, but
No. That's good. Thank you.
you're welcome. Okay, so next, I want to show you a tool that I've built, and I'm going to unleash it on some of you. So I want some volunteers. But before I do that, I know that a lot of people actually have been asking me exactly what I do, and I have shifted my business a little bit, and I'm doing a lot more one-to-one work, a lot more done for you work actually. So if anybody is interested in knowing more about what I do, then I'll drop a link. I got the link. I'll drop a link in the chat. I'll drop it in a second. I'll drop it in there now. And you can book a call with me. And there is some information in the document as well about exactly what I do. So let me find the chat. There's the chat. Oh. Sorry guys, I'm not great with Zoom. I'm really not. And if you're putting questions in the chat, then be patient with me because I'm not great at reading the chat either. I really need to get my assistant on this call with me. So yeah, if anybody wants to know more about what I do, then book a call and we can have a conversation. Right, let's get to the fun part. Who wants to get, Lee's already got his hand up. So you're first, Lee, but I can probably do 2 or 3 people. So put your hands up right now and I'll just like leave your hands up if you want your profile and or content roasted and I'll pick them at random. Lee was like really early on, so I guess I got to do Lee first. He knew what was coming. All right, let me first of all, so it takes a little bit of time to do this because I've got to copy and paste stuff. And let me put Lee's profile. It helps if I share my screen as well. All right, so the first thing I will say about this is, oops, I don't know what I've done there, is don't take it as the absolute gospel truth, okay? This tool that I'm going to show you is built to help you understand how the algorithm sees you, but never discount the human element. There always has to be a human element in there because, like I said earlier, if your profile is 100% machine readable, but when a human being reads it, it just looks like AI, you know, crap, then they're not going to be interested. So it is a little bit of a balance, but the tool itself does try to keep that balance as best it can, but it's just a kind of a disclaimer that I wanted to put out there. So So this is the tool. It's built in Gemini. It's called the LinkedIn 360 Brew Strategist. And if you, it says here to get, let me make it full screen. To get started, type let's get started. All right. And it will give you now I use the Pro version of Gemini, but you don't need it. And I believe with the free version, you get the thinking and the fast one, which are fine. So I would tend to use the thinking version. And the only thing is you need a Google account, Gmail, or, professional workspace account to use Gemini, obviously, because it's Google. But you can just use the free version. So you don't need to pay for anything. All right. So it just gives you it tells you a little bit about the new algorithm is here. And then it tells you what it wants to do, which the first thing it wants to do is grab screenshots of the hero, the about section, the featured section, the experience section, and the content section. Uses some strange wording, but there you go. So I'm just going to screenshot those first of all. So give me a sec here, guys. And you can paste up to 10 things into the chat at any one time. So it should be enough. So let's go on the about section. All right, so if you find like this, it's going to go off the screen. There's two things you can do. You can either hold down Command or Control a minus button and reduce the size like that. You can probably not even read that now. I can barely read that. Make it a tiny bit bigger.
What
So
was
you can
that
either do
control?
this. Sorry?
What was that control you did?
Just if you're on a Windows computer, it's Control minus or Control plus to zoom in or out.
Okay.
If you're on a Mac, it's Command minus or Command plus.
Thank you.
So I'm just going to screenshot that. And the other thing you can do is just do it in two screenshots. It will still put them together afterwards. Paste it there. Then I'm just going to go back to the normal view. Then just a quick snapshot of the featured section. Paste that in.
Can this not read LinkedIn if you just share the profile URL?
No, because it's not able to click on the more links and things like that. So unfortunately not. Sorry. Let's do the experience section next. Yeah, so you always got to expand stuff, and yeah, it's not able to do that, I'm afraid. And there's like LinkedIn has very strict rules about scraping data, and because so many bots and tools out there are trying to do it. So clicking on links with bots is actually not allowed. I think that's everything from the profile and the content. So I'm just going to put a couple of posts in here as well. There's all these. All right. Got to click the more link there as well. Again, I'm going to make that a bit smaller.
Adrian, if you don't mind, can I just ask? I use those images to put my hook on, and then I put kind of like a semi-hook in the actual text. What are your thoughts on that process?
I think it's fine. It will give you, if you always use the same sort of branding, then it's probably going to be effective because people will remember it. And as long as, I mean, you have to measure the performance, Lee. But I think using this, I don't think it's a problem.
Okay.
I think it's good and it's quick. It just means you can add an image quickly to a post. So yeah, I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing.
That's the main reason. Cheers, mate.
Yeah. Maybe one more. God, I can hardly see that. I need new glasses. Okay. All right. in the name of time, I'm going to just go there and see what happens. And what I should have done is told this that you're a client as LD, because it might start thinking this is me. It's memorized all my stuff. But anyway. Okay, so it's giving you some feedback here. So you've clearly got a strong human-centered brand here, but there are some technical gaps where the algorithm might be getting a bit blurry on exactly who to show your work to. So it's giving you, this is goodly, 78 out of 100. It's actually really good. I'd say aim for above 70, so you're doing pretty well. Your algorithm trust is high, engagement, high volume and thoughtful, multi-sentence. So you can read through this, but basically you got high trust, medium high authority, medium content clarity. So let's see what this says. Your content is deep and mind expanding, which is great for dwell time, but because it deals with internal identity, it occasionally risks the vagueness penalty if it doesn't anchor itself to specific business outcomes or roles.
Okay.
Feature section feedback. So everything's pretty good, right? It's giving you pretty good feedback there. The feature section feedback, you currently have 3 items here, 360 brew, rewards, extreme focus. I recommend narrowing this down to just 1 or 2 items. Ideally, 1 should be a high perceive. Yeah. So this is actually, you know, the algorithm or not, this is a good thing to do, to actually just like, not just your feature section, actually your whole profile. So your, you know, the first link in your featured section, or the only link, actually, I would recommend. The link, if you have the link at the top of your profile and the custom button, they should all go to whatever the highest value lead magnet item is.
Sure.
All right, so now it's going to ask you some questions to kind of rejig your to upgrade your profile for you. So who exactly do you serve? Just give me the really quick version in the name of timely.
New coaches, new
Okay.
online coaches.
Right. So I use a tool, and I'll share this tool with you guys. Awesome tool called Whisperflow, which in my experience is the absolute best speech to text tool. It's powered by ChatGPT, but you can use it anyway. You can use it in emails, and it actually punctuates stuff, unlike ChatGPT, and separates sentences and paragraphs and stuff. Anyway, I'll share it in the document. But so give me just a second. I help new coaches. All right, can't be bothered typing. And then, yeah, sorry, because we're using the thinking version, it does take a little bit longer. And if you're used to using ChatGPT, obviously this looks and feels a lot like it, but it is quite different. Got new coaches, clear human style, however, from the perspective of the algorithm, it's still a bit broad. To the machine, a coach could be anyone from a fitness instructor to a corporate leadership mentor. If we don't get more specific, the system might struggle to find your exact audience, which often leads to your post being shown to the wrong people. And that actually makes sense, right? So basically what it's saying is, you know, being a little bit more specific. Is it life coaches, for example, or a particular type of coach? That's going to help. What type of specific problems do you solve for these new coaches?
I fix the way they think rather than patch the process.
Okay,
It's,
let me just say that in. I fix the way that they think rather than patch the process.
Yeah.
Oop, that didn't work. Let me do that again. I fix the way that they think rather than patch the process.
Yeah.
Okay. So another approach, most people try to put a bandage, a broken leg, blah, blah, blah. From a human perspective, that's a huge differentiation. Here's the catch. The algorithm is quite literal. It doesn't feel mindset. It looks for patterns of specific business problems. If we say we fix the way people think, the machine might categorize you as a philosopher or a general life coach rather than a high-stakes business mentor. So we need to bridge the gap between their internal struggle and so on and so forth. All right. I'm just going to go through this quicker so we can do some more people, but you get the idea though, right?
Yeah, I mean, the thing with that, I mean, there is a lot of philosophy-based stuff in my coaching program rather than being a high-stakes business mentor. So it's kind of got that juxtaposed.
Yeah, so it's just finding the balance, Lee, finding the balance between, you know, who you are as a human within your business, but also how machine readable you are by LinkedIn.
Sure. Okay.
And again, you know, looking at the scores that it gave you, I don't think you got much to worry about. I think it's pretty good. All right, so what are the typical outcomes that clients get from working with you?
Freedom from self-sabotage.
Okay. Freedom from self-sabotage.
Yeah. Freedom from burnout. All the usual stuff, just in a slightly different way, I think.
Okay. Freedom from burnout.
Yeah.
Okay, there's powerful human results. Again, it's gonna say the same thing, right? To the algorithm, they're vague signals basically. So, you know, it doesn't know if you're a therapist, a yoga teacher, or a business mentor when you use those words. So I would just think about, you know, how you could weave in some more tangible sort of, you know, concrete language into it, right? Do you have, so what's your main offer? Do you have a specific program or one-to-one or workshops? What's the main thing that you do?
Yeah, a 3-month group program.
Okay. A 3-month group program.
Yeah. Or there's a 6-month one-to-one.
Okay. Well, we'll just go with this for now. It's probably going to say it's lacking information, but you can, so I'm going to give this tool to all of you at the end of the session, of course. And you can play around with it yourself and go deeper with it, but I just wanted to sort of show you this. All right. So from the machine's perspective, the term group program is an empty container. It doesn't tell the algorithm what is being taught or who it's for. To get the 360 brew to point to the right people, we eventually need to attach it to specific named entities like mindset mastery for scaling coaches, business psychology for new entrants. Right, they're very AI generated terms, but you get the idea, right? So the last one, do you have a methodology? Describe briefly. I know you mentioned your blueprint framework earlier. Tell me in a sentence or two, what's the unique process or steps you take with these new coaches to get them from burnout to freedom? And do you
Okay.
have a specific name?
It's called Blueprint. What it is, I help people connect with their own intuitive blueprint rather than all the fixes and the patches that they pick up off of everybody else. Do this, do that.
Yeah.
So I help them create a vision, an intuitive practice. Yeah, that kind of encompasses it basically.
Okay. And it's called the Blueprint, and I help.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hang on a sec, Lee. 'Cause I'm dictating this. It's going to mess it up. Hold on. So it's called the Blueprint, and I basically help people find their own intuitive blueprint rather than following other people's and picking up information in bits and bobs. And I help people develop a vision.
Correct.
All right. Fantastic name. Yeah. I don't know why AI loves to validate us, doesn't it? But here's a challenge. Intuitive and vision are very soft signals for an AI. If your profile is filled with these words without anchoring them to the business of coaching, the algorithm will categorize you as a self-help creator rather than a business mentor. But that might not be a bad thing. You know, if that's how you want to be viewed, it's not necessarily a bad thing. But what it's saying is it's kind of, yeah, it's not strong from an AI perspective. All right, so here's your start list. It's telling you things to stop doing, stop using vague phrases like "I help new coaches find their way." Start using things like strategic so it's giving you an idea for a headline.
Sure, yeah.
Strategic mentor from your coaches, the founder of Blueprint Methodology, helping coaches replace self-sabotage with high-performance vision and scalable business models. Okay, great. So you can take from that whatever you want. It's going to give you that on all of your different parts of your profile, and you can now basically have it actually help you recreate it in
Cool.
using the view from LinkedIn. I'm not going to do it because we've spent way too long on this. I want to do at least one more person. Yeah. So, and I'm going to give you this so you can do it yourself, obviously. Me, I'm just going to pick a person at random. Rachel, it's you.
Yes. Stop tickling us, Adrian.
Oh, was that you I tickled? Sorry, Georgia.
This
So
is pure
Rachel, what's your last name so I can find you on LinkedIn?
Remaily Franco, Remaly.
Right,
And
let me
then-
share my screen again so we can find you. Oh, where's that gone? Oh, there it is. Oh, that's tiny.
So I'm a new coach, just launching my business and trying to,
Yeah.
get all this positioning and all of that, just so you know. So it's Rachael, just so
Rachael.
Ael, yeah.
Ael, and then
Whoops,
you'll.
you missed the C.
Yeah.
The H, sorry. Chael.
Okay. And the last name again?
Remaly.
There
Yeah.
you go. All right. Let's just reset this. I'm going to say, help me refine a client's profile, just so it doesn't get confused with me.
Okay.
All right. So let's go and grab all your stuff. And drop it into there. Oh, is that everything? Yeah, I know. Okay, cool. Let's get rid of that. Experience. Do you have a featured section, Rachel? No?
I guess not.
No. Okay, that's important. Get it. You can get that set up. Okay. All right, I'm going to zoom out. A bit more. So when you say you're a new coach, Rachel, how long have you been in the game?
I'm just getting my business set up, so like 2 months.
Cool. Are you getting any results from LinkedIn yet?
Most of my clients are coming from people I know. They've probably been seeing my posts, but they're people that know me already.
Yeah. Well, that is not a bad thing. Definitely the best place to start.
Yeah. And then I'm doing the physical networking events, and that's also leading to clients.
Right. I think I've missed something here. I missed the experience section, have I?
Not yet.
Yeah. All right, I've got 2 posts. That'll be enough. Let me just reset this. Go back to your profile. All right, grab your experience.
Adrian, are you doing copy paste, actually copying the content, or are you doing
I'm screen
screenshots?
copying. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm actually like taking a screen photo of it all. Actually, let me just see if we can do this. Okay, I can get 3 in 1. There you go. Okay, it should be enough. And I'm just going to write There's no featured section. Give it a minute to think. So there's a lot of
Not
human
great.
here, which is great for building trust with people. However, the 360 brew model, the brain of LinkedIn, is likely confused about what she actually does for a living. It sees her as a person with a story rather than a high authority expert. This means her reach is probably restricted to people who already know her rather than the new clients she needs to reach. So, oh, it gave you the individual score this time. That's good. I think it didn't for because these were higher, but so it's 46 out of 100. So the goal, Rachel, is to try and get this to 70 plus, just because, yeah, it's you want to have a strong machine readable element, but don't lose your humanness, please. So it gives you, it just says a machine struggling to lock in the niche because the headline and content too broad. 25 years of experience is a massive asset, but the machine can't read the results she gets for her clients yet. Posts are very personal. While moving, they lack the teaching frameworks that the algorithm uses to categorize her as an expert. And the story about CRPS and mindset is unique and powerful. This is the strongest human signal. And then for alignment, so it actually gave you a high score on differentiation, which is good. Alignment, there's a gap between deep biotech experience and current passionate coach messaging. The machine sees this as noise. Okay. Right now, there's no featured section. This is a major leak in the strategy. 360 Brew rewards profiles that have a clear place for people to go next. Just needs 1 or 2 items here at least. One must be high value lead magnet, like a PDF guided checklist that proves expertise and captures leads while she sleeps. So the headline, stop using vague words like passionate, purpose, positive change. These are semantically null. Start using named entities like executive coach, life sciences, patient advocacy, or change management. And then it goes through and, tells you about everything basically. So I'm not going to go for that whole interview again because it takes a little bit of time, but hopefully you can see that this is, it's going to give you a really, really clear view of how the algorithm is seeing your profiles. So I'm going to share this with everybody. I'll send it out with the replay once that's done, hopefully later on today. But for now, okay, I'm sorry I didn't get to do more. I didn't know it was going to take that long to do them. I guess I should have practiced that. I get lost in it when I do it myself. But I hope that was helpful. Are there questions? Questions?
I have a question. Hello.
Yes, Jackie, right?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Hi,
Jackie.
Jackie.
I'm just thinking, so you created this tool, so you've encapsulated some of your brain in this tool.
Some
Yeah?
of my brain and a lot of research on Brew, 360 Brew.
Okay, so why are you giving it to us for free?
Well, I'm just generous. If you want to pay for it, you can. But it's
Is
a
it
gift
like,
for
is it,
attending the workshop.
all right, okay. Is it like a lead magnet so people get
I
to know about you? I'm just
I
wondering.
use, yeah, kind of, but I use this with my clients as well. I use it to straighten out my clients' profiles. So for me, the lead magnet is the workshop, and this is just, it's a gift that I'm giving to people attending the workshop.
Yeah. And you can't sell it because it's a tool you've created. So
I could sell it. Yeah, I could, because I can control. So I used to use ChatGPT and create custom GPTs. But the problem with custom GPTs is you can't restrict who uses them. Once the link's out there, it's out there. But with Gemini, it's great because you can actually control who has access to it based on their Google profile. So, and that's what I want to say. Once I share this with you, you'll have to request access to the tool and I'll grant it. So bear with me on that. There'll probably be a lot of emails requesting access. So it might take me a a while to get to everybody's, but yeah,
Cool.
that's why, Jackie.
That's wondering. That's really interesting. I'm just learning about the whole GPT thing.
I'm glad at least one person learned something today. That's good.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, but I've learned lots of other things. Well, thank you.
You're welcome, and that's good to hear. Seema,
Thank you. It's amazing. That's so cool. Really appreciate
thank
it.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What about pages versus your own profile in this mix?
You mean business pages?
Business pages, yeah. Or
So
business
business pages are good for two things, in my opinion. One of them is showing that you're in business, and the other one is running ads if you're ever going to run ads. Otherwise, they're pretty pointless because you'll never get as many followers to your business page as you will to your personal page because people are interested in people. And if you don't believe me, go on to LinkedIn and search Virgin Group and see how many followers it has, and then go and search Richard Branson and see how many followers he has. Because you'll find that Virgin has about 200,000 and Richard Branson has about 8 million. Because even though that's his brand, people are interested in people.
Yeah.
So when Richard Branson posts, he posts from his personal page, just so you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And you talked about the people you're connected with.
Yeah.
So if you're encouraging people that are your right fit people to connect with you and they are, is that helping? I assume it is, but is it?
Sorry, say that again.
So I mean, like when I run workshops, I get people to connect with me on LinkedIn, and they're my people. I'm assuming that's helping somehow to have the right kind of people in
Yeah,
my.
absolutely. Yeah, you should be actively connecting with the right people.
Okay.
So, I'm fortunate. I've been on LinkedIn a long time, and I've had pretty much the same audience. So probably, I don't know how many connections I've got, but about 25,000. But out of the 25,000, probably 20,000 are coaches or consultants of some description. And that's you're aiming for at least about 50% of your network to be your target audience if you can. The more the more the merrier. But you should, if they're not, then you should actively be growing network to do that, for sure. Yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Deirdre. Don't know if I said that right. Deirdre?
Yep, you did. Thank you.
Good.
What about if you want to move from a lurker to a poster if you haven't yet joined? So I comment, and I don't know why LinkedIn often asks me to write posts about being like an expert. Like, what is your opinion on this post? I don't know what that is in the algorithm, or if that's gone or not, but I don't actually write content because I'm figuring out my niche in terms of business.
Yeah.
So do you say figure out your thing and then post, or is it best to kind of get going?
Yeah.
Like, what would you say to someone who's still kind of building and
I'd
doesn't
say,
post yet?
I mean, there's two ways of looking at it, right? Because posting, if you haven't posted before, it can be scary for a lot of people, because you're exposing yourself. So it is good to get the practice of just, I don't actually care anymore. Like I'll when I used to worry about, and I had one this week that did really badly. It got just a few hundred impressions, but I don't care because, I've just done it so many times. So there's something to be said for just doing it. But on the other hand, there's something to be said for having absolute clarity on what it is you're offering, who it is you're serving before you start putting yourself out there. Because not that it matters, like I don't care what people think, but from the algorithm point of view, and I think I might have forgotten to say this actually. Yeah, I did. I missed a little bit of my script there. So from the algorithm point of view, you need 90 days. Okay, you need to dial in your whole image on LinkedIn in 90 days because it will take the algorithm 90 days to really accurately classify you. So if let's say you start to dial things in and then at day 45 you decide to switch your niche, then you have to start from scratch. So yeah, it would be good to have it figured out before you start.
Yeah,
So,
that's what I was thinking. Like in the next couple of weeks, as I craft where I'm going, then I'll start kind of drawing
yeah.
people in through stories and talking to them.
Yeah.
In its own way, it kind of is we're all getting free business advice through this algorithm. Like it is also what makes business scale.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay,
If
thanks.
you play, by the rules of the algorithm, then you'll get rewarded for it, which is great.
But even if you weren't on LinkedIn, what it's forcing you to do would give you rewards.
Yeah, it's just a good thing to do to niche down and be really crystal clear about your offer.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
When you say rewards, Adrian,
Oh,
what
sorry.
what kind of rewards are we talking about? What do you mean by rewards? The algorithm gives you rewards. What sort of things can I expect?
I can't see who's talking for some reason, but just
Oh,
saying.
sorry. This is Dorota saying.
Oh, sorry, you're frozen up on my screen, Dorota. That's why. So you were next anyway, so that's good. When I say rewards, I mean your content will get more reach, your profile will show up in more searches, you'll be recommended to more of the people in your target audience, things like that.
Okay. And will I be able to see it somehow, or it just happens somewhere in the background? And
Yeah, you can figure a lot of that out from your analytics. I have I have the paid version of LinkedIn. I use Sales Navigator, but even with the basic version, I believe, please correct me if I'm wrong if someone has the basic version, I believe you get some level of analytics. But for example, I can see the industry that people work in, the percentage of, let's say, consultants who people are in the consulting industry who are actually viewing my posts on an individual post by post basis. So you can see all that stuff. Yeah. Yeah. The LinkedIn has actually, maybe I should have touched on that, but they've really got their act together with analytics now, finally. And they're pretty good. You used to have to use a lot of third-party tools like Shield Analytics or, some other way of analyzing your data, but they've got it together finally, and they've got pretty good analytics.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Adrian. This is pure gold, and I don't think it's just applicable to coaches. I think you should be expanding it far and wide. And at the risk of everyone going, ooh, I think there should be a fair energy exchange, because this could be your golden ticket. And whilst I appreciate your generosity, I'd like to put something out there, which is that everybody here who's getting this as a free tool at least gives you some sort of testimonial, or will refer you on to one other person who will pay. It doesn't matter if it's £25. You get 100 people recommending you, that will soon be 1,000, because I'd like to repay this generosity. I mean, I've worked with you for 4 or 5 years, and this is just spectacular. I mean, it's gobsmackingly easy, refined, and amazing. So just putting that out there, that you should be monetizing this. And
Thanks,
thank you.
Georgie. I really appreciate that. And I would actually will ask for testimonials. It's on the. In fact, I can do it now. I'll drop the link in the chat. I'm going to find the document. So I really appreciate that, Georgie. Thank you. Let me just copy this. Let me find my chat. I'm so bad with Zoom. Look, I'm better with Gemini than I am with Zoom. Thank you for that, Georgie. So yeah, if you guys want to give me, it's specifically about this workshop actually, but that's great. If you want to go on my LinkedIn profile and recommend me on my LinkedIn profile, that would be great as well. If you want to do that, feel free. Nicole Vida, what a great surname.
Yes,
That means life in Spanish.
it's my personal brand. I have a very complicated German surname, so I changed it. It's my
Okay.
personal brand. Thanks a lot. And I agree completely with what Georgina said, and I will definitely give you a testimony. I'm looking forward to receiving the tool. I wanted to ask you again regarding the featured section, because at the moment I have a link to a discovery call in there, because I think a while ago someone told me it should only be one thing, and then I thought, oh, this makes more sense. But did I understand you correctly that you said it would be good to have a lead magnet?
Yeah, so the thing with a discovery call, if you've got nothing else, I would do that for sure. But you got to think of it as like, I always use a dating analogy, right? So if you see someone that you like in a bar, then, you wouldn't go up to them and say, hey, let's go back to my place, right? It's probably not a good thing to do. You're probably going to get,
No.
severely rejected. Whereas if you say, hey, I noticed this and, I'd really like to buy you a drink. Can I buy you a drink? It's a much safer step for them. It's a much lower obstacle. And so when you think of, in terms of asking someone to, get a call with you, it's like, yeah, come back to my place, right? It's quite a big thing for someone to do, especially when they don't know you. Whereas
Yeah.
if you're offering something of value, the people think, I really want that. And then giving you their email address and their name and first and last name is kind of a no-brainer for them. Then they've already taken that first step to engaging with you. Then you could follow up with them through email marketing, which we should all be doing anyway. But also, if you're growing their first and last name, you can put those into LinkedIn and you can actually reach out to them and say, and that's what I do. Well, that's what my VA does for me. But and say, hey, Nicole, I saw you downloaded my whatever it was. Just curious, was it valuable? Was it helpful? I'd love to hear some feedback. And then you start a conversation, and then
Yeah.
that's where
It's more also, it's more
yeah,
elegant in a way, and it's more, makes
it's
absolute
less
sense.
if you think about, we're still, our brains haven't evolved from 50,000 years ago, and 50,000 years ago we lived in small tribes of about 100 people, and anybody outside of that tribe was a potential threat. So we've got that thing going on where we don't know people. Subconsciously, we're viewing them as a potential threat. So it's a great way of getting to know someone by offering them something of value in exchange for their details, and then you take the relationship from there.
Yeah, and I completely get that. And for me, it's also because I'm a nutrition coach and healthy lifestyle coach, and sometimes I'm also, because on LinkedIn it's like a professional network, and sometimes those people said, oh yeah, I've been reading your stuff for years and it really helped me, but I do not want to comment because I don't want people to see that I want to lose weight or something like this. So it's in my niche. It's also on LinkedIn. It's a bit specific probably. So okay. Thank you.
welcome.
For everything.
Quick question for you. This is Dina.
Yeah.
In order to do any sort of a video testimonial or a video introduction through LinkedIn, does that have to be a premium subscription?
Not sure what you mean.
So in I know I see you've got testimonials, you can leave a video, stuff like that. You can also leave videos inside of LinkedIn when you're wanting to message people inside. Is that a premium subscription? You have to do that.
No, it's not a premium subscription to do that. I don't know about video testimonials on LinkedIn. You can put videos on LinkedIn, so you can get someone to shoot a video of a testimonial, put it on YouTube or put it on Vimeo, wherever, and then link that to LinkedIn, and it will show as a video testimonial. But using video in your messaging is actually great. It's really, really powerful. It's a little bit buggy. You can only do it from the mobile app. And
that's another thing, because I was trying to do that the other day, and I could do it with a few people. It's only works on first connections. So I think I did learn.
Yeah, definitely only works on first connection.
And then it's like it goes, I could do it with a few people, but then it was like, okay, I can't do it with this first connection because I may not have a premium subscription. So that was the
really? It's probably nothing to do with the video message. So when you have the free version of LinkedIn wants you to pay for LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So when they detect, when they detect that you're all of a sudden messaging more people, they think, okay, Dina is going to be making money out of LinkedIn, so we want to slice the pie. So we're going to restrict the number of messages she can send so that she pays for Sales Navigator, and then we're going to let her send more messages. So that's what's going on there.
Right. And you're saying you don't really need Sales Navigator.
Yes and no. Obviously, if you're getting restricted like that, you need it. Okay.
Yeah.
If
because I think I do need it. Yeah.
Yeah. If you can find your niche through a standard LinkedIn search, and that's good enough, why do you need Sales Navigator? Right. But if you're scaling things up, you're finding that LinkedIn is restricting your number of messages, or you're finding that you're you know, you've got to be careful, because if you view too many profiles as well, you can get into trouble with LinkedIn for that. So if you're finding that you're hitting the limits, it's time to be thinking about Sales Navigator. And there are a lot of, it's expensive for what it is. It's depending on where you live in the world. It's anywhere between, you know, $50 and $100, but you do get a lot of extra functionality in the search filters. For example, you know, if you can filter on things like the type of companies that people work, so how long they've been in the job and things like that. So you don't need it, but it is very useful.
Well, it's very, very helpful, but it is expensive. And so when I saw this, now I can't leave a message because now it needs to be premium. I'm like, well, I'd like to figure out, you know, how to make that, you know, send a personal message. I don't want to type anything. That's what I really want to do.
Voice notes. I use voice notes.
Okay.
And there's a great app. I'll put it in the document as well when I send it out. There's a great app for actually managing your messages. That means you can send voice notes from your desktop as well. So if you're doing your, you know, prospecting work from your desktop, which I recommend strongly to do it from your desktop rather than your phone, then you can actually send voice messages from your desktop, which I love.
Yeah.
It's easier and it connects more with the other person.
Well, it definitely connects more on a human level. I think you're going to get
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Janelle, sorry, Janelle, you've had your hand up for a while.
Hi. Sorry, yes. So my question is just around niching. So at the moment, it's already hard because we're interior designers. So naturally, we don't just work with residential. We work with hospitality, commercial, and residential. So already it gives us a headache in terms of what we have to do for content, so that you know, we do posts that kind of covers if you this or that, or there's ones that it's targeted to each. And that's our main thing at the moment, but we have a proprietary process that we use with the clients that we are looking later at adding as a consultancy to other designers, where we can plug into their system. And so I'm just wondering, in terms of where you were talking about that 75-25% split, would it still make sense that we keep our main focus targeting our actual clients versus the consultancy to other designers?
I mean, it's all design, right? It's all in the design arena.
It's all within that same realm, yes.
Yeah, and I know they're kind of different types of clients, but they're similar, really, right? I mean, hospitality. What did you say? It was hospitality.
So it's residential, hospitality, and commercial.
Yeah. So hospitality and commercial, I think there's a lot of synergy there. So I don't think that's a problem. Obviously, it is different with residential, because that's going to be B2C rather than B2B, right?
Yes, and the thing is, most of the time, the residential clients we have, it's all people who are generally people who own, we've seen, it's people who own their own businesses or are very business minded. We've just kind of naturally landed, because we have a very specific business driven process that we use. It seems to land with that kind of client versus, you know, just general run of the mill people.
Yeah. So what I would do, and this is only what I would do, I'd keep the focus on the hospitality and the commercial, just because they're very similar. You can post some very similar content for them, and I think you'll, you know, almost by osmosis, you'll probably be picking up your residential clients.
That does make sense, because also the thing is, even within design, we are niching further into the fact that we use neurodesign, sensory design. So it's about how your nervous system is affected by your interior. And so I think maybe in the same way where we talk about how people can support their guests, if you're reading it and you go, oh, well, I want to feel like that in my home, you'd maybe see yourself in that.
Yeah. I think, and I love that concept, by the way. I think that's awesome. How the design affects you neurologically. But yeah, I think, you know, well, use the tool, Janelle, and put some of your content through it and compare it to your profile and see what it says. But I think you're not going to be far off if that's the stuff that you're posting about, even though they're kind of different topics. They're within the same group, if that makes sense.
No, that absolutely does, because it is a bit of a thing of where you're trying to talk about the effects of it, but you're also like, and we have this process that leads you from A to B. So it is a mix of content, but it always is within the same kind of 3 topics. So I think then we should be fine, hopefully, but I will definitely use your tool with great appreciation.
Yeah, great, good. And yeah, and give me feedback, guys. If you hit any bugs or anything strange, I'd love to hear that as well. Okay, if there are no more, if there's any questions, put your digital or your physical hand up. Otherwise, we're 23 minutes over. Sorry about that. And we can call it a day. I will drop all of the resources. And if, like I said, if you want to have a chat with me about how I might be able to help your business, the booking link will be in there as well. And thank you, everybody, for coming again. I was experimenting with this pay what you feel access, which is, I know it causes a bit more friction. So I really appreciate that you still showed up. And I would love to see you on another one. And I wish everyone a great rest of the week, a great rest of the year, because we're just starting, and good luck. And I hope this tool gets you started on the right foot with LinkedIn. Thanks, everyone.
Appreciate you, Adrian. Cheers, mate.
Yeah, likewise. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.